What do you think of the way your defense played Sunday?
We played, you always want to win the ball game. I think anytime you play Aaron Rodgers and you go into the fourth quarter and he's only scored 3 points, that's something. But at the same time, we want to do a little bit more it takes to win ball games. We got to close it out better, try to keep people out the end zone as best we can.
I would imagine you're preparing for possibly 2 quarterbacks this week, not knowing Kyler's status.
Right.
In what ways has he gotten better since coming into the league a few years ago?
He's solid. He's really good with his reads. He's making checks at the line of scrimmage now with the good quarterbacks too. He knows when to run. He knows when to get down on slides. You can see it's a thinking man's game, and he's doing a great job of thinking the game now. In addition to his combining with his athletic ability.
Are you splitting your game plan and practices in half? Or, okay, here's the Murray plan, and here's the McCoy plan?
We had similar last week playing Green Bay with Rodgers and Love. So we've had some experience with this, but we have enough film on both players to be able to be ready for both.
Actually, on the field, do you spend time on both, or do you just have one tucked away at the
That's not for me to speak of. That's way too much information.
How have you seen Jordan Brooks progress in these last few weeks?
I think if you watch him play, I think anytime you see a really good performance on Sunday, it's only taking value in the process on Monday through Saturday. It doesn't happen. Sunday doesn't happen without the work during the week. Sunday doesn't happen without the work, without the communication, without study habits, without taking care of your body. It's such a big process. And for young players, it's really hard for them to really get it. They think they can just show up here and be special, and special has to be earned and has to be worked at. And he's doing a great job of realizing that, really taking value in the people around him who have been here for a while and playing at a high level, and learning from his experiences and from the really good veterans around him. So what you see him doing on Sunday is only a reflection of what the hard work he's been putting in during the week.
You had LJ Collier active this week. What did you think of how he played?
I've always been a big LJ fan. He works really hard. He has such a great attitude. What he's been through this season, just competing to get on the field and able to play each and every week, and he just gets stronger and stronger and works harder and harder. I really like his attitude, and he's the type of player that's going to be here for a while.
What'd you see from him Sunday?
Just energy, executing the defense really well. I think he graded out pretty high, and he was in the right place. Anytime you can play defenses and guys are where they're supposed to be, and they become very accountable, that's good defensive play.
Been a few games now with Tre Brown and D.J. Reed as your two corners. What have you seen out of that duo?
Well, you see, aggressive. You see guys playing really hard. You see a lot of plays on the edges. You just feel like a lot of energy out there, and guys that really enjoy playing. And again, they work well together. And I think that it's been consistent. Sometimes it's one week and down the next week on some weeks, but now it's been week after week after week, and they found a good rhythm on how to play well and how to keep explosives down and play really good football.
How does Tre's awareness show up on the film?
How does it show up on the film? Well, it comes down to understanding the call, understanding how he fits in the whole scheme of things, really understanding his role in the defense and taking his role, very serious. And he's a guy that the guys like him because they see how hard he works and how much he wants to be a good player. And I think that it's just like Jordan, it's a process for him to learn how to be a really good pro. And he's got some really good pros to learn from.
Pete was saying he thought that was one of Jamal's better games in a while. What did you like about sort of how he played?
Well, he's really a good all-around football player, and I think that the more that we're all working together, and the more he's working with Quandre and Bobby and the secondary, and the more they're working together, his game could be well-rounded. You know, everybody wants to talk about his blitzes and his sacks, but it's coverage, it's disguises, it's working together in the secondary and keeping explosives down, it's great communication. It's so much more than just that one-sidedness that everybody wants, but he's been fantastic.
What do you need to be better at most against screen pass?
I'm sorry?
What do you need to be better at most against screen pass?
Oh, yeah. I think that any time that, we're doing so many things well, and you always want to pull out the things that you need to improve on, and that's certainly an area. You have to understand when they're running them. And I think teams now are running, we're going to get at least 7 or 8 a game. So it's important to recognize them. It's important to get everybody involved. It's more than just one person. Obviously, it's the play side defender, but everybody has to be able to see it, recognize it, and get out there and make plays because it's one of the tougher plays. And the way the football is going now, like everything's on the perimeter, whether it's jailbreak screens, halfback screens, all types of screens in all situations. We have to be more aware and be a lot more effective on them.
You talked before about being able to use Jamal more or differently. Is the way he was used maybe as a deep third guy, is that something new or maybe you got to do more of this year than last year when you first got?
It's a little bit of, I think that we're able to do more because we're working together. He's, learning more of the defense. I think him working with Quandre, their combination, their communication, as well as they work together is really key. I think the whole group, the secondary as a whole, they've really come together, and you can tell, their closeness and their communication by the way they play, starting off by the way they practice, which is a reflection of how they play.
DeAndre Hopkins, if he is able to go, just what does a receiver like that bring to their offense?
He's pretty good. I think at this pro level, each and every week, you're going to have really good skilled players. With Green Bay last week, really skilled players, and as we come back this week, Hopkins as well, really good catcher at the high point. A guy that's quarterbacks when they need a play, he's the guy you go to. So it's really important that we understand that if we want to challenge for this victory, we have to know where he is at all times.
How do you get more out of your pass rush?
When you watch the games, you see the games are a lot of screens, a lot of perimeter plays, and those type of plays, they kind of neutralize your pass rush. So you're not going to be able to rush the ball every time because everything's going outside. So it's important to know when, but you don't exactly know when they're going to run the screens, but you have to be able to react to the screens, and when they're not throwing screens, we have to be more timely on our pass rush.
You guys are pretty high, I think, on the passes batted at the line this year.
Right.
Is that just a product to emphasize it, or just a good game?
We have tall, Carlos, we have some tall players between Carlos and Rasheem. We got some tall players, so they're great with getting their timing up. But at the same time, the pro game is now so perimeter. Everything's going outside, and there's really speeding up the release of the ball. They don't keep it very long, so that really neutralizes the pass rush. So you're not going to see a whole lot of high production on sacks.
Anything else, guys? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Phillip.